Hey guys, what's up? Joker here. I'm gonna be doing a tier list. I haven't done one in a long time, So I typed in Final Fantasy 14 and I thought, you know what, this one looked the best. So yeah, let's get into it. So obviously there's gonna be spoilers in this video. It goes all the way through Shadowbringers. I can already tell there's villains here. So am I gonna remember everyone's name? No. Am I gonna remember how shit they were? Yes. So let's get into it. Um, I think Adachi is just terrible. I mean, not terrible, but I think he's just decent. I think he barely escapes just there. And I actually like how this ranking system works. Excellent content and actively bad slash who is this? Um, I think those are the perfect ends. I think Adachi is, you know what? I'm actually gonna put him in just there. I think he's just there. To be honest, he doesn't really get interesting until the Ossian takes over him, and he's just a bitch, and he's just a douche, and he's just a weirdo, and to be honest, he's just there. Um, so yeah, I really don't care. Now, this thing, I cannot for the life of me tell what the hell it is. Some of these pictures are just like so small, I can't tell. I wish it was like names. Um, but I think this is just gonna go in actively bad. Now I'm gonna save these two until the end. Elidibus. Elidibus. This is so interesting. Elidibus I would have put as a decent. And then Shadowbringers, he got to excellent content. I think the backstory of Elidibus is really interesting, of him being like the speaker and like trying to help his people, and he was the first warrior of light. I think that was so, like, his backstory is just so good, and I think it outweighs all the just there-ness and decentness of Elidibus. He really wasn't doing anything until Shadowbringers, and Shadowbringers is really where he shines, and how they flesh out both him and Emmett Selk. Um, and now I'm looking at this right now, and I'm like, uh, I'm trying to figure out between these two Ossians right here who is who, because like there's like, oh man, I'm gonna go with this guy's La Habrea, and this guy is that dude who kidnaps Minfilia. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't see Emmett Selk though, which is interesting. Huh. Okay, no, wait, this is La Habrea. This is Emmett Silk. This is that dude who kidnaps him. Oh, never mind. This is Emmett Silk. Who the hell is that? Oh, okay, okay. This is what I'm gonna do. This is the female Ossian. This is the dude who kidnaps Minfilia. This is La Habrea. So yeah. Let me just put them in order. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, but back to Lena. I just think he was just so, he got so good, and yeah, some Fridola. I think Fridola as a bad guy was decent. As a character was very good, but I think honestly, like, she is really not that interesting of a villain. She's her backstory and stuff is kind of cool, and I think that's what puts her at decent. It's like she's not bad just to be bad. She was like kind of pissed at all these people who killed her dad and blames them and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, now her reasons really weren't that great and stuff like that, and she went all psycho bitch. But I think she's just decent. Now Greg, I think, is just actively bad. Um, I think Greg is bad at his job of being a bad guy. So that's why he's inactively bad. I think honestly, just the Manderville questline is just supposed to be, funny and stuff like that. So like everybody in there is really not serious. And Greg is just actively bad at being bad. This guy is actively bad at being bad because um and this guy's a who this, but like this guy is so bad that he like lost, how many times? He lost like 3 times. No, 4 times, right? Yeah, yeah. Let's go with 4 times. He lost. The point is, he lost many times to us, and the Warrior of Light, and he's just so forgettable that I forgot his name. But I remember he's just a giant bitch. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Now, I'm not sure who I said this was. This is the Igish Mir guy or whatever. He was just there, you know. You kind of forget about him. He was all the way back in A Realm Reborn. I don't even give a shit about him because guess what? Minfilia isn't even in the story anymore. Um, he was like there. He was like a La Habrea replacement, and he's just not as good as La Habrea. Meanwhile, this chick was actively bad. She literally was there for like 2 seconds and then pieced out. So I mean, it's even. I mean, she didn't even do anything. She's died to King Thordan. So I mean, like, yeah, La Habrea again, excellent content. He was a fucking psychopath. Who knew that he was actually a dude who was sane and like one of the head people? I think La Habrea would have been just very good in my opinion, but Shadowbringers helped flesh him out a little more. And I just liked La Habrea. He was just that crazy dude who was just like trying to like kill you, but like you figure out like why he was like crazy and stuff like that in Shadowbringers, and I think that just makes him way better as a villain. But even when you met him in A Realm Reborn and stuff like that, I thought he was really just a cool character. Now I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. Like they're on the moon. I'm pretty sure this is Elidibus. Um, this is the Ig dude in La Habrea. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna leave this off because honestly, I can't even tell. Now, Lolorito, he's decent. He's just decent. You know, you don't see him anymore. Ever since the end of Heavensward and stuff like that, he doesn't do anything anymore. And he's just decent. You know, he really wasn't even the bad guy. You know, Telechi did more bad things than him. But I think honestly, since he's a Lalafell, that moves him up to decent because you can't trust Lalafells. Now this guy, I'm gonna be honest, like these pictures, I cannot even tell what the hell that is. That looks like a black, like knight. I, I, I can't tell who that is. Now this goblin guy, this guy was just there. This guy was just there. He wasn't even the bad guy. He was Alexander. He was just like he wasn't actively bad. He was literally just there. He just was there. You know, the goblin leader of the Illuminati. He was useless. I mean, let's be honest. This guy, I mean, this guy just exemplifies just there. He literally was just there when we were going to Azazla and we found him and he was like, "Oh, I'm a Legatus, so I'm trying to prove myself and shit like that, you know?" And then the Warring Triad, he was like, "Yo, I'm a Legatus, so I need to help my men and stuff like." He was just there. He was just content. They were like, "Ah, oh, man, we need someone to move the Warring Triad along. We just bring in that dude we like just used for like 2 seconds." Thanks. So yeah. And then 9S. I don't know why exactly 9S is there. He wasn't a bad guy. He was a bad guy for like he was a bad guy because in your mind you thought he was a bad guy, but in reality he was a good guy. Because you didn't have full context of the situation. So I don't think 9S is a bad guy in general. He's just not a bad guy and he doesn't need to be ranked there. Um man, Raj. I'm gonna call this guy Raj. I can't remember his full name. Rajid. Yes, yeah, Rajid. I think he was very good, and the reason I think he was very good is because he actually beat you in a fight. Like, just think about that. How many of the bad guys have actually beaten you in a fight that I put on this list? Like none. Actually, none. Like, like who? Like none is the answer. Um, Yeah, so that's why he was very good. I think his background was cool. I think his fighting was cool. I think every time you saw him, he was just like cool in general. And yeah. Now I'm gonna go to Fatty McDaddy right here, Vothri. I think Vothri honestly was decent. He was very close to just being just there because but I think he was decent. I think also at the end and stuff like that. But I think honestly what made him like a good villain was all thanks to Emmett Silk. And what I'm getting into is Emmett Silk was the best bad guy in the game. I don't think it's even close. I don't think it's a question. I don't even think there's a debate about it. Emmett Silk was definitely the most interesting bad guy in the game. His entire like Shadowbringers fleshed all the Ossians out, and it was so he was such a good character. He was funny. He was a bad guy. The reveal at the end was like, "My name is Hades." I mean, like, dude, the fight was cool too. I mean, let's not, that's also why I liked Elizabeth. Is like the fight was cool, dude. Like when you're actually fighting both of them, it's so cool. It's so dope. And Elizabeth kind of repeated Emmett Silk, so that's why I give Emmett Silk even more. And honestly, Emmett Silk is like, is there even a question? Like he was the best bad guy in the game. There's like no debate. Omega again. I felt bad for Omega. Like I don't think Omega was a bad guy. I don't even think in the context Omega was a bad guy. It's kind of like it's Omega was more of a bad guy, you know, just in general. Like you had to fight it, and it was like, you know, wasn't it like saying like, oh, try to prove something or some shit? It really wasn't a bad guy. So yeah, Yoyotsu, I think Yoyotsu was very good. I think honestly, some people would put her as excellent content because of the whole, stepping fetish and stuff like that. But like she was very good. I liked her a lot. Again, it goes into fleshing out the bad guys. She was fleshed out really, really well, and I just liked her a lot. Every time you saw her, you're like, stupid bitch. You know what I'm saying? And it's like very good, exemplifies that. I think she was better than Ranji too. Xenos, I think was excellent content. He's just a psycho. He calls, he's my friend, but he's fucking crazy. I mean, he fighting him was also cool. It goes back to like he actually beat you in a fight. Like, just think about that. Like he beat you in a fight. Like that was cool. I mean, like, dude, the whole Rauger's reach thing I think was really cool. I think Xenos' armor also looked dope as fuck. Um, yeah, I think he was such a badass. Like he beat you multiple times, dude. Like, and he was such a good character. And when they brought him back, I was like, when he's walking around in that I think the elf body, it's like, dude, this guy's just so badass. He doesn't even need to look like that. He's just the character is just good. It goes back to like, and he hasn't even had like the flesh outness that Elidibus and Emma Selk have had. And I think in Endwalker they're gonna flesh him out, and bring more backstory, and I think it's gonna make him even better. But like he's such a good bad guy, and he's such excellent content. I can't wait for Endwalker. Um, I can't tell what the fuck this is. I'm gonna assume this is Needhog, but like the head is like chopped off, and I can't tell if it's Shirayu. I think it is Needhog. I think he's also excellent content. I mean, they went like really ham on the bad guys. Like Needhog was so good. Um, I think he was just excellent content in general. And then, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, like it was the elves' fault in fucking what is it called in Ishgard. It was their fault, and he was just reacting to that aggression. But like when it was time of peace, he was like, "Dude, fuck this shit, man. I'm just gonna knock you up." And the boss fights also were like dope when he took over. Oh, Estinian. I got it eventually. Yeah, when he takes over Estinian, I think that was like just really cool. I mean, Nidhogg was just just great content. I think he barely slips out of very good, but I think the patch really helped him. Gaius Van Belsar, I think Gaius was definitely a great bad guy. Still a lot, but he was a great villain. Again, you go back to great armor. He actually is a badass. He looks cool. I mean, he hits all the boxes, and also he was bad. You know. Now, were his reasons terrible? I mean, all he wanted to do was conquer Eorzea to make them get rid of these icons and stuff like that. So in the primal, they interchanged the word icon and primal. Like he did that for good reason. It's like, yeah, this isn't terrible, but the whole subjugation thing was terrible, and that's why he was a bad guy. So yeah, I mean, like honestly, he's just so cool, and like even seeing him again without the armor, it's like, dude, this guy's so cool. He just oozes coolness. I mean, like look at this chick right here, Livia. Livia is the definition of just there. She was just there. Nero, I think Nero was is decent. He tried to pull some whoop de whoops and like take over Omega and stuff like that. He's just trying to be bad. Even in the Crystal Tower, he was trying to pull some bad things. This guy was irrelevant. He was just super loyal to guys from Belsar. Did I do this on purpose, lining them up like that? Nope. But yeah, I mean that works. Now Nail, Deuce Darnus, Nail Van Darnus. I didn't play the first Final Fantasy 14, vanilla, so I can't really make a judgment on her. Now, Manderville, the young Manderville. I think this is a tough one, so I gotta come back to it. King Thordan, I think he was decent. He really wasn't elevated to bad guy status until later. But then again, everybody wants to become like a god in some way. So, eh, he he was decent. He didn't get good until like way later. I mean, he didn't even get good. He was just he just had Alzheimer's and forgot what he was doing. He just went crazy. Um, Emperor Varys. This is tough because he checks the boxes. He looks cool. He sounds cool. His armor's cool. But dude, he was such a bitch. Like he did nothing, dude. Just like think about it. Like he died to his own son, who was such a badass that his own soul, he just couldn't die, and he just got zapped into some dude's body. This guy was such a bitch that he didn't even sit on the throne one time. He didn't do anything. In fact, the only time he did anything was when they made an extreme trial where he actually did something. He was so bad. He was not even a bad guy, dude. He was just bad. He was a bad villain. I mean, look at the people above him. He couldn't even beat the gnome who didn't do shit besides look around. He was so bad. I feel like just there and actively bad exemplify him so well, but actively bad is the lower tier, so that's where he belongs. He did nothing. Now the younger Manderville. I think it's pretty obvious. Excellent content. There's the whole Manderville storyline was so good, and they keep it open ended too, just so you can like maybe they'll come back to us. I doubt they do it though, but I hope they do go back to Manderville. It'd be so good. But he was excellent content personified. It was so funny. He was an idiot. It was just a good time and a great change of pace, honestly. Now, Zodiark and Hydaelyn. These are what the two crystals represent, I guess. I'm just assuming it. I'm actually conflicted on what to do with this. I can't think of where to put them, because you haven't seen them. Like you've heard them, but like I just can't think of what to do with this. I think it's just gonna be excellent content for both, because they're both the driving force of the entire game, and the entire game is excellent content. That's my reasoning with that. So yeah, like I said, don't know who the fuck this is. I mean, don't even know who this is referencing. Let's be honest. This, I literally cannot see who this is. I mean, like, is this a Stinian? I mean, like, 9S wasn't a bad guy. Omega, I'm gonna say, Willie wasn't a bad guy in the sense of being bad. Nail, I didn't play Final Fantasy 14. I would assume Nail would be like decent or very good, something like that. But yeah, um, I think looking at the community rank is going to be very interesting. But like, I think there's no doubt Emmett Silk was the best bad guy in the game. See this guy. Okay, I don't understand this. Hmm. See, I think the ranking is bad. I think the ranking is terrible, to be honest. So let me just do this. You know what? I'll keep excellent content. Okay, there we go. This is what I'm gonna do. There. I think I fixed it. I think the actively bad thing is just bad in general. It's just like because like what are you talking about? Varus is decent. I mean, I guess you could say that. See, that's why I fixed the tier. You can't have this like actively bad. I think that this is just weird. It's like they're all bad guys. Yes, so this is it. These are the worst bad guys. I think Greg, um, I think Greg is just bad at his job. That's what I'm just gonna leave him as F. Um, wait, where did he put this guy? Oh yeah, he put him here. See, that's just confusing. That's confusing, dude. That makes no sense. It's like don't do that, you know? I like the first four. I think the fifth one needed to be this the entire time. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. Yeah, it's clearly gone on for a long time. Probably, but yeah. Let me know how you guys thought about it, and like and subscribe. It helps me out. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.